We are live. I really need to find a way to make this more efficient. All right, we're going to start today's edition of the Live Mass. We're doing 10 days of live streaming right here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Right now, we are going to be starting with daily laws or daily stoic. Whichever way it works, we're going to start one. See how it goes. And we're also going to talk about fault versus responsibility. But before we do that, let me check to see if this is actually, if I'm live, if I'm actually live. By the way, if you're watching this, let me know if you can hear me clearly. There you are. There is a one live viewer from Twitter. Hello there. And another viewer just joined in. Thank you for hopping on. I usually expect 0 viewers, so my goal is to just do the live stream. But it's always nice to have people watching around. So thank you for being here. All right. Let us begin. I think this music is going to change. Oh no, music is not changing. Cool. Let's do it. December 5th, we're reading from The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. This month so far has been a meditation on mortality. So lots of the entries, both from Daily Stoic and the Daily Laws, have been around death and accepting it and recognizing our mortality and things like that. So just not be surprised. I mean, I'll not be surprised if it's a similar one. So let's do it. The benefits of sobering thoughts. Sobering, like being sober. Not drunk, basically. Oh, is it just not drunk? Yes. Keep death and exile before your eyes each day, along with everything that seems terrible. By doing so, you'll never have a base thought, nor will you have excessive desire. Epictetus. Enchiridion, I don't know how to pronounce this. I just need to find a way to have it pronounced. Enchiridion 21. Political winds could change in an instant, depriving you of the most basic freedoms you take for granted. Or, no matter who you are or how safely you've lived your life, there's someone out there who would rob and kill you for a couple dollars. or Frank CFAs if you're watching this from Cameroon. As it's written in the timeless epic of Gilgamesh, mine is snapped off like a reed in the canebrake. The comely young man, the pretty young woman, all too soon in their prime, death abducts them. Finishes by saying, death is not the only unexpected interruption with my face. Our plans can be dashed to pieces by a million things. Today might be a bit more pleasant if you ignore those possibilities. But at what cost? I have a friend, whenever I'm always talking about these ideas of death and living and things like this, friend is always like, why are you always talking about these things? No, positive thoughts only. Why? But I think it's important to, when you have these thoughts in your mind, then you're not constantly thinking about them. Wait, that sounds very contradictory. When you have the thoughts in your mind, you're not afraid of them. When you're thinking about the end, it doesn't surprise you. And then I feel this gives you the opportunity to be appreciative of the moment when you are there. But I need to think about that more. I need to think a little bit more about that. That's the first one, the daily laws. Let's get that out of the way. Sorry, the daily stoic. Next, the daily laws by Robert Greene. If you don't know who Robert Greene is, look him up. You're going to have a great time if you're into human psychology and things like that. Human nature, essentially. Yesterday was the universe is within you. Today, I like this one. I think this is a nice component or completion or complement to what we just read. Immerse the mind in the moment. Every morning, before I eat or do anything, I meditate for 40 minutes. Okay, I can't do it for 2 minutes, but it's a work in progress. It's a very intense 40 minutes because I'm emptying the mind. I've been doing it religiously every morning for close to a decade now, and I wish it'd been longer. You think, only 40 minutes? But it is intense and it's extremely difficult. You try stealing the mind for that amount of time, and you'll find out how incredibly difficult it is. But it's immensely powerful. The ability to focus and steal the mind, the thinking, talking mind is what messes people up. You can see it in the golfer who's lining up a 20-foot putt on the 18th hole, or the baseball batter in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, or a field goal kicker with a game on the line. They are thinking, and that thinking interrupts the physical process. Even if you have the muscle memory mastered, the thinking will mess you up every single time. This is why samurai warriors were obsessed with Zen Buddhism and Zazen meditation. You think that golfer or that batter or that kicker is in a pressure situation. But in a sword fight, it's life or death. If the samurai can't steal the thinking mind, they die. Zen Buddhism was a way to alter the mental aspect. It gave them mental control. It made them one with moment. Now the daily law. This is the most powerful point you can reach in sports or any other endeavor. When you are no longer thinking, you are in the moment. Make it a daily practice to focus intensely on the present moment. That's it. I think this would be similar to what Mikhaili, what was his name? I tried to master the name, I've forgotten. Anyway, the person who did the research on flow, how when you get into this space where you're able to create and time slows down and you basically tap to the best of your abilities, called flow. For athletes, artists, creatives, you want to be in flow because you do your best work from flow. You actually save time, you're more efficient, you're more productive. What you're creating during flow, it's a lot more different from what you're creating when you're struggling to switch from task to task and you're drowning in social media and things like that. So being in the moment. So Daily Stoic talked about what? See, my fish brain has forgotten. No, I do not have a fish brain. I have a human brain. Sobering thoughts. Thinking about the things that calm you down about your life and your death. And then we have now being in the moment. Like this moment right now. It's like if I was trying to do this and then think about other things, it's very high likelihood that not only would I not think about those things, but I'll not also be present in this particular moment. All right. Now that we've had that out of the way, let's talk about fault versus responsibility. I saw a really interesting article I'm going to share here real quick and put a link in the comments, and then you may read it if you want at a later date. You can ignore it, I don't mind. It's not my link. I didn't write it. I don't care. Actually, I care. Please go read the link. Anyway, it goes like this. Responsibility versus fault. This is from the semanticsgroup.com. So it's really about the differences between the two, because I think those two words, fault and responsibility, they seem very similar. It's your fault. Somebody does something and it says your fault, and somebody has to fix something, it's your responsibility. And because I know the differences now, I'm finding it difficult to see how similar they are. Because I can understand, before I understood the differences, I can understand how much they seem the same. But just when you hear the word fault, there's this negative bubble that comes up. I don't think there's anything good about fault. Fault doesn't sound like a nice thing. When somebody is saying it's your fault, or you say it's my fault, it doesn't usually mean it's a good thing in any way. Like, it's not neutral, and it's definitely not positive. It does sound like a negative word to represent something that wasn't done well. Responsibility, on the other hand, I think has a much more neutral stance, a heavier stance, a much more mature stance. I just feel like responsibility, comes from, you think of the word responsible. When somebody is responsible, it means they take charge of the things that they have been assigned, or maybe they even choose to take charge of things. Someone is responsible for a job. That if something doesn't happen well the way you want with that job, you talk to this person. So I think, from my just feelings of the word, let's go with that. But let's see what this article has to say. This is what responsibility for. This article is about a company. So there's a table here. Yeah, I think this is great. This table solves every problem that I've had this morning so far. This table breaks down the differences between responsibility and the other side of the table is fault finding and blaming. You see, it's still not positive. Responsibility seizes power. Fault finding forfeits power. Responsibility gives you control. Fault finding takes away control. Responsibility is internally focused. Fault finding is externally focused. Responsibility is increasing integrity. Fault finding decreases integrity. Responsibility increases trustworthiness. Fault finding diminishes trustworthiness. And the last one, I like it. Responsibility makes things happen. Fault finding watches things happen. So how should this even? Why did I choose this particular conversation today? I think if you read the description, I was talking about the fact that multiple times in my life I've been in positions where things didn't work out, and it's easy at that point to look for who to blame. Who made sure this wasn't going to work out? For example, let me say you have to attend a party and then you're late. Let me say you're in a group and then you're all late because this one person took forever to get ready. Now, it's very easy in that particular moment to be like, yeah, you did this to all of us. It's your fault. It's because of you that we never came to the party. It's your fault. Makes sense, right? But now, if you look back to that particular scenario, let's say you were in a group and you really wanted to attend this party and one person was holding you back. All of you were holding you late, At that point, you can decide to just go to the party, take responsibility, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to be late. I don't think we should be late. Or you can decide and get the whole team to go if that's something that you can do. At that point, one person is going to be late, and they could actually tell you, they could blame you for it and be like, oh, why didn't you wait for me? Why did you guys leave and leave me behind? But in hindsight, then the rest of the group will not be late. And so at that point, you took responsibility for the lateness by taking control and deciding and taking action. Now, let's go back to the next. Say, for example, yes, you still got late because of this one person and everybody is talking and blaming these people. This is an opportunity for you to say, well, guys, you could have left if you wanted. You could have gotten up early and left. This person did not hold you hostage or force you to stay and wait for them. Maybe they didn't have a car, maybe they needed something, or maybe it's late. Okay, that's different. The different circumstances, how you look at a situation like that can give you different definitions of fault and responsibility. But the point is, many things happen that are beyond our control. and we find a way to blame people for it. Not having a job. I don't even think that's beyond your control. But sometimes, let me say, you live in an economy or in a country where it's difficult to be able to find an income that pays your living. You can blame the government. You can blame your parents for not training you. You can blame your school. You can blame your teachers. It could be the fault of everybody else, right? Or you can take responsibility. Your relationship or your marriage, like mine, may fail. You can blame your ex. You can blame your in-laws. You can blame your parents for not teaching you what you're supposed to learn. You can blame everybody. Or you can take responsibility. I think it's similar to the excuse versus reason that I did a couple of days ago, where I was talking about these two kids who choose to have two different lives, even though they had the same parent who treated them basically the same way. And so they end up in a situation where they choose different paths. And one person, why did you build your life the way you built it? Why did you become successful? Why did you have a business? My father was an alcoholic. And the other person, why did you waste your life? Why did you decide to throw away all these gifts and money and potential in lieu of building something good for yourself? Well, my father was an alcoholic. So when it comes to fault versus responsibility, the way I look at it, especially at a very personal level, is that when things don't work out, at least now I'm trying to really remember that in my life. When things don't work out, it's not about finding who's at fault and pointing out their fault. And I want to clarify this because I think there are many situations where it's beyond our control. There's actually somebody at fault. Things actually happen that are not good, and there is very little you can do that is within your responsibility to change anything. You have to acknowledge that, because there are many people who live in circumstances that they did not create. They live in countries that have laws that made things very difficult for them. It'll be disingenuous for me to assume that, oh, if you don't like the way your life is, it's not your fault. Fix it. That's not true. I'm privileged, and I know that, and I've always been aware of that. I was raised in a family with two parents. My parents sent me to boarding school for 7 years. I went to college. I have a degree. I have a job. Like, I have so many things working out for me. If I'm making that list now, sounds like I'm trying to boast, but I'm not. I'm just trying to acknowledge that I'm aware that there are circumstances that I haven't experienced and things that I would never really understand in terms of fault and responsibility. But one thing that I know, or that I've felt, that I think cuts across for everybody, is that no matter what your circumstances are, if you don't take responsibility for them, they'll stay the same way. As sobering as that sounds, is just the truth. It doesn't matter what people think about where you were or what people think. People can come and empathize with you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this difficult thing. I'm so sorry that you had to lose your job. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that must be difficult. That must be painful. Yeah, it's true. It's painful. It's hard. It's difficult. Yeah, we get it. Now what? What are you going to do? How are you going to change it? How are you going to transform your current situation into something else? That is where responsibility comes into play, because it's not so much about the fault. The fault is there. Somebody has hurt you. The government has failed you. Your parents were terrible. Your teacher, all bad things happen, right? Hey, Greg, welcome to the stream. I'm good, my brother. I am good. I am having a conversation with myself here about responsibility and fault. I'm doing this thing called live mass, where I stream every day for, I was thinking 10 days. So this is midway. This is day 5 of me streaming daily. Yeah. And I was talking about fault versus responsibility, because I think there are many situations that happen that are beyond our control, that we cannot handle in life. And it's easy to just point fingers. This woman did this business failed because this person did not give me money. This business person took my money and ran away. My parents did not love me well when I was a child. My wife left me, and I am in a new country, and it's difficult. I don't have the time to write articles. It's so hard. I mean, these are like lists of things that I've probably said a few of them myself. And I wonder if things would not be different if we actually just took responsibility, Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Loving the conversation. Yeah. Thank you, Greg. So yeah, I got up with this feeling today because I was thinking, like, there's so many instances in my life where instead of taking into consideration what was going on, I decided to just blame everybody and complain and meet my friends. I'm like, can you imagine this girl did this to me? Can you imagine this teacher would not allow me to pass this exam even though I did? Can you imagine? And the friends will be like, yeah, sure, man. That's so hard. That's difficult. When I had my car accident in May of 2020, it was tough for me because I had just started driving in the US and I blame myself for that accident a lot, even though it was not exactly my fault. But I had to take responsibility for it because there are many things I could have done differently. And I think that's the way I try to look at things now. Is what could I have done differently? I feel that's a main question when it comes to responsibility. Let me say you go out and you get robbed in the middle of the night. You're walking in the evening, and this is a crazy example. So please just bear with me. You go out at night for a night walk. You're trying to be healthy. You're trying to work on yourself and your health. You go out, and then somebody is like, "Give me your phone, give me a wallet or something." And you're like, "Man, I was just walking here quietly in peace, just minding my own business. Why would this young man or young woman? I mean, are they female robbers? Why would this young woman want to take my wallet away?" And you see that question there, are they female robbers? That's like a stereotypical mindset. This is literally me acknowledging like the bias that most robbers will probably be men, which is probably not true. But anyway, at that moment, whose fault is it that you got robbed? It's very clear, right? The robber came up to you and robbed you. But when you think in terms of fault versus responsibility, the question is like, why didn't you go for your walk earlier? And if I ask this question to someone who has been robbed, it's very insulting. Like, why would you? How dare you say it? Especially if you got physically abused. If something happened that really hurts you. If you get into a situation where you're damaged, not just you don't lose just money, you lose a lot of things. The question is, why did you go that late at night? You could have taken it in the morning. You could have been more safe. You could have picked a different route. You could have done your research. Saying things like that is not going to be fair to the person in that situation. And that's not what I'm saying, that when something bad happens, you just switch like responsibility. No, we're human beings. We get hurt. We feel like it's not just simple to just switch responsibility or take it. Because the goal of this video and this stream and this conversation is really to realize that you can blame everybody and blame yourself for the things that did not work out. You can point out fingers and fault and the government and the people and my friends and everybody, parents, everybody did all these terrible things. You can do all that. And if it works for you, that's fine. Like, honestly, if that's the kind of life that you want to live, hey, I'm not going to come and stop you. But now, if you want a different version of your own personal existence, if you want a different life, a different way of looking at things, right? If you want, hey, thank you very much for this. Manzi, brother, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is really nice. Thank you. Yeah. Doing a vlog, a live mass where I stream daily for 10 days, and this is the 5th day. So this is really cool. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, Greg says, I see you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. So you can blame everybody for all the wrong things that happen in your life. And there are many bad things that happen. I'm sure we have long lists of things that happen that we're not expecting to happen. Many things. You can blame everybody for it, including yourself. Or you can take responsibility for it, which is asking the question, how can I change this? How can I fix this? How can I make things different? And that opens up possibilities. And for some reason, I'm thinking about this question by Peter Thiel in the book 0 to 1, which is some kind of questions help you think about things in a very different perspective. One of the questions was, how can you achieve your 10-year goals in 6 months? And the reason I'm thinking about that is because the way that question opens your mind is making you realize that time is different and that you can take certain actions that really move the lever towards your goals. Not everything is equally important. In the same way, you don't have to take responsibility for everything. For example, what example can I think about? Let's say YouTube, you're a content creator, and you're having a hard time growing an audience. You can blame people who don't subscribe, who don't like your videos. You can blame people who don't like you because you're annoying. Maybe you are, I don't know. Or you can take responsibility and accept, like, okay, what do people actually enjoy on YouTube? What's the kind of content that I can make that people really want to watch? How can I improve the quality of my videos? How can I improve the quality of my audio? How can I improve my edits? Taking responsibility is really so much more about taking action and fixing the things that are within your locus of control. That's really it. That's really it. That was a message I had for you today. Fault versus responsibility. Yes, you can blame everybody, including yourself, or you can choose to take action on the things that you can work on. Yeah. In the building, staying low key. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. No more. Surafel at Masu. Hey, no more? No more what? What's going on? No more fault, right? No more blaming people. More responsibility. Yes, I agree with you. If that's what you're saying. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but yes. So yeah. Yeah. We're going to be ending the stream in 5 minutes. It's Sunday. Day is getting ready. Going to get to some things. And man, Manzi, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Sometimes I actually forget that on YouTube you can do that. It's actually something that you can do to support creators and people here. So it's nice. It's nice to have this. Yeah, I was thinking when I was thinking of doing these live streams, I was thinking, oh, it's a really nice comment here. Conrad, you're watching. Hey, you were here yesterday as well. It's really cool. Let me get on your comment. I like your responsibility argument, but it stays within the confines of free will, not considering external deterministic factors. That's interesting. Let's say you had to go for a walk but decided not to. Then someone breaks in and steals just your wallet at home. Whose responsibility is this? There is enough responsibility for us to assume, but the moment you add the determinism factors in telling your story, please could you add the link to the mainstream, not Facebook? I like this question and I actually do have an answer for that. It's going to annoy you, so get ready for it. Let's say you had to go for a walk but decided not to, then someone breaks in and steals just your wallet at home. Whose responsibility is this? It's your responsibility. Okay, let me rephrase it. So if someone breaks into your home, it means you're living in a neighborhood where there are people who break into homes, right? It means you don't have a security system around your house. I'm saying this tongue in cheek and also not tongue in cheek because it's easy to shift that blame to other people. The person broke into your house. It's very clear. It's a clear fact. This person broke into your house. But now the way my brain is thinking about responsibility is I should have made enough money by this point to have a house in a neighborhood that doesn't have this kind of behavior. And that also opens up another kind of worm. So what about people who cannot make money? What about people who cannot do this? And you see, this story could go on endlessly about what about this? What if this? What if we have the general situation, we have the individual situation, and the deterministic factors? You're very correct, Conrad. I think that is something that plays a huge role in this. The way I look at it, which not everybody has to, the way I personally choose to look at it is if I can use my talents, my skills, my abilities to make enough money to build my house, to live in a neighborhood where this is not going to happen, problem solved. And does that sound fair? No, it doesn't. It's not fair. And it's probably going to annoy somebody who has had this kind of situation because it seems like I'm trying to undermine the role the robber played in affecting their lives, but I'm not. It's just, what are you going to do? What do you do? So for the link to the YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel, just search my name on YouTube, you'll find it. But I'm going to put the link here real quick just so that you can see it if you're watching from Facebook. Find the link real quick. Here it is. Hey, I'm getting the link. I'll be right back to find All right, Conrad, here's a link to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, you can go ahead and subscribe there. You can turn on notifications so that whenever I go on live or publish a video, you can see it. So yeah. All right, as we Africans, we must stop recognition of Africans. We must stop interventions of others' interests in Africa. Now is the time to stand together. 100%. Yeah. We have to take responsibility for our lives. I know I twisted that very quickly. That was like a sharp right turn. But yeah, I think we have to take responsibility. Yeah. Karen says, you have put some deep thought into this, I see. I'm always thinking, it's both a good thing and a not so good thing, but I'm always thinking about different possibilities. Like my default stance is considering various possibilities, which is it's not very healthy from what I've noticed, because sometimes you also want to not think about everything. You want to be open to things happening so you can enjoy them and just enjoy life. But I'm usually thinking about how things will go wrong. And in the past, it's backfired in the sense that when situations will happen, I would take so much responsibility for the situations that people around me who are not in the same vein of mine of taking responsibility would say, well, you've taken other responsibility, now what do I do? And had often that has often annoyed me. That feeling of, wait, you're not going to take responsibility, you can't do responsibility. Like, yo, what, what? So, oh yeah, we've done 30 minutes, made it, 30-minute stream. And if you're watching and you have any questions, any comments, or anything you want to talk about, this will be a good time to say hello. If not, well, I'm going to be ending the stream in a bit. All right. So let's see here. We have 4 viewers. Thank you for hanging out. I hope the audio was clear enough. For some reason, I'm listening to my voice from here, but I wonder if that is the same level that you're getting in the stream. I'll have to watch the stream to see. Yeah, I like this level right now. So, Conrad, does that did that help? Did that give you perspective on the way I think about these things? Because a lot of things will happen, and like relationships will fail, businesses will fail, people would steal your money. There's just so many things that happen in life. You can blame people, or you can take responsibility for it. Oh man, Manzi, I don't know if you're still watching, but I really appreciate the super chat, man. It's a nice touch. Hey, Conrad, man. Yay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is really nice. You know, this is cool. Thank you, man. And the music just wraps everything up very nicely. So, thank you for the super chat, Conrad. It's really, really cool. When I started doing these lives, I was thinking of just catching up and making more videos because I took a break from YouTube, starting a new job, and just getting into the weeds of things. My week is crazy, but yeah, being able to wake up early in the morning and do this, I'm actually very tempted to do it daily, but then I'm like, yeah, this will probably overwhelm people or overwhelm me. But we'll see. Let me do the 10 days, see how I feel about it. Maybe I'll miss it enough to want to come back. Who knows? So thank you. And I'm glad my explanation was able to help give you a way to look at things. And yeah, me and you, we're in the same boat. The whole cyclical thinking is, for me, I think very deeply. And if you're around me, it can get annoying. Because in the past, I used to share these ideas, just talk about them. I'll talk about unfinished ideas. And I'm comfortable with unfinished ideas. I'm very fine with talking about things that are not done in the gray area, incomplete. I'm comfortable, but not everybody is. Some people have a hard time. They need to have concrete, like, what do you mean by this? Where does this end? Me, I'm like, what if? And then I sit there and I wait. And I'm fine with waiting. So thank you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. So Rafael says, I'm from Ethiopia. We stand together and now Ethiopia is terrible, but I hope we win the battle of Adwa. Yeah, I know there's a lot of things happening, and I've made some reaction videos about the country. There's so much that I don't know about Ethiopia. Actually, that's the reason why I started doing reaction videos, because I wanted to learn more about many African countries, including my own Cameroon. So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that, it goes back to the whole fault responsibility thing. Whose fault is it? Doesn't matter, or does it? But whose responsibility it is to make things right, to address things, to fix things. And I feel like that's even a dualistic way of thinking. It's possible for it to be somebody's fault and also be their responsibility. Let me just put that out there, because I think the way I've explained it is like, it's either your fault or your responsibility. It cannot be both. I think it can be both. You can do something wrong and it's your fault, and you can also take responsibility for fixing it. So it doesn't have to be separate, where you can only have either one or the other. I don't think it doesn't have to be that way. So yeah. Hey, SharePoint tips. Welcome to the stream. I have seen you leaving comments on the previous streams. I think this is the first time or the second time you're catching a live stream. I've seen you leaving comments on the previous one. So thank you for hanging out here. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm past my 30-minute mark, so now I'm just wrapping things up. And if anybody has something they want to share or comment they want to make, more than happy to bounce around ideas with that. Now my camera is acting very funny. You know what, camera? There you go. Fix yourself. Fix yourself, buddy. It's too much money to be doing that kind of life. See, whose fault is it for this camera? Whose responsibility is for the camera to go out of focus? But yeah. Hey, Joybird, I see you just liked the video on Facebook. Thank you, man. I see you killing it. It's really nice. All right. I'll be ending the stream in 4 minutes just because I like round numbers for some reason. I cannot allow myself to let it be at 36. I try to time it at 40, which doesn't work all the time, but we'll try. We'll try. But yeah, while we are here, what would you like to talk about tomorrow? I'm more than happy to hear. Do you have any things you want to discuss? We've talked about so far. We've talked about. Let me check here real quick. We've talked about excuses versus reasons. We've talked about why being afraid. Yesterday we had a conversation about identity and ego and fear and things like that. And tomorrow is Monday. It's the start of the week. So I'm thinking of a different topic that has that vibe, that Monday vibe of getting you started, preparing you for the week. I'm curious if you have any topics that you wanted to talk about, anything you want to get my perspective on, or any ideas that, Conrad, if you're watching, I'm sure you have a very interesting topic for me. So what would you like to see tomorrow? I mean, even if you don't suggest topics, there'll be something. I'll figure something out. But it would be nice if it's something that you want. Something that, Let's see. I can hear your keyboard typing. So we've talked about excuses versus reasons. Let me see. All right. Oh yeah, the first one was how are you preparing for 2022. Next one was excuse versus reasons. Then we had why are you afraid, and today is for versus responsibility. This song keeps coming up over and over. I just need to skip it. What is wrong with this song? Hey, Katie, coming at the end to say hi. Hi, thank you for being here. I think you're going to like this one. You might want to, of course, go back and review it. I'm thinking of we'll actually have a conversation about this thing, Katie. So looking forward to your perspective on things. But yeah, we're 2 minutes to the end, actually 1 minute and 50 seconds. And this music is a nice ending tune. Let me actually increase the music a little bit. I like it. It's a cool, calm piano. Katie, I saw your comment. I'm just want to use and return to you. Do I have a better Spotify list for this music? No, I am using Music Bed. That's this is literally what it is. Let me see here. Nope. Yeah, so I'm playing from Music Bed. They have a new playlist of new songs. So that's what I was doing. When I go there, I find playlists that match and then just add them to projects so that I can have them on a regular basis. But I think they have their music on Spotify as well. So I'll probably have to check, but that will be very manual. So yeah, Maybe I'll make a Spotify list at some point. I don't think I will, but let's just keep that project working. So, but yeah, we've made it to the 40-minute mark, and I know I'm going to cross. It's not going to be 40 minutes, but hey, thank you so much for hanging out, Greg, Menzi, Surafel, SharePoint Tips, Conrad, Katie. It's nice having you on the stream, watching, listening, giving a super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Conrad and Menzi. It's really, really nice to see people donate like this. It helps out. It makes it worthwhile in a way. I mean, not that I would not do it if you didn't make it worthwhile. It's really cool. That's what I'll say. Yeah, it's nice. So thank you for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow. We have 5 more days of this left. And feel free to reach out, leave a comment. If you watch the stream and you want to hear something else or want to get a different perspective, more than happy to talk about it. So